How y'all doing? For this video, I'm showing off some more miniatures I painted between 2025 and 2026 for that miniature haul. In this case, these are going to be 4 mini dragons from an old out-of-print game from Grenadier Miniatures, Dragon Lords. Now, I've done several videos on these where I've showed off what I've collected these, and at the time I'm probably going to claim, and I'd be willing to back down if someone can prove otherwise, that I probably have the largest collection of fully painted Dragon Lord miniatures around. Hey, tell me, hey, shout out, tell me if you got some that are painted, if you got more. But with that said, I like collecting these. They are on a 6mm scale, about this size right here, very tiny. The idea of this game is basically, you're using these flying dragons. You're going around a board on a hex grid and trying to attack each other. What are rules like? If you ever played basic BattleTech, that's it. Cross some lines out. Fill in some dots. Once you see the mech sheets and the dragon sheets, they're almost the same. Except this one's much more simpler because there's not as in depth as BattleTech. You have the dragons, which have the various hit points based on their wing size and all that, giving them different attributes and speed and what have you, and giving different breath weapons. You can even add little 6mm riders to go on top of that to give additional effects, like a javelin thrower, a crossbowman, a bow shooter, and a knight with a lance, and a wizard with their effects. But that's as much depth as it can be. I can see someone who's creative with these can do something else with that, their campaigns and all that. Hey, if you're interested in Dragonlance and you want to use these to, do your own little epic battles, outside a role-playing game, these would have been perfect. The problem is they're a little pricey in the secondhand market since these have been out of print for the longest time. It's easy to find off and on eBay alone, unopened blister packs of these. And at the time that this game came out, they were $5 a piece. Here, your better prices would be $20 to $25. Some cases higher depending on seller. Until I discovered something. You see, Grenadier Miniatures is no longer in effect, but most of their stuff went to a miniature company called Merlinton SG, based in Italy. Now, I've known they had them for a while. They even kickstarted years ago to reprint the old miniatures that they used to make. Then I discovered something when I was searching for eBay, just to see if there's any more models about. And I discovered something, that one of the sellers, Noble Knight Games, had, which led me to go to Merlinton. Let me show you something. Okay, so here we are at Merlinton SG Miniatures, and this is the front page. If you go over right here to the 15mm range and go down to Mini Dragons, let's take a look. So it's visual loading here, and here they are. Here are the original Dragon Lords miniatures. Instead of getting it in blister packs that are 2 of the same dragons per pack for about like 18 euros or a little over $20 here in American, you will get all these. Let's click on this one right here. Let's finish loading up. Let's expand the screen. Here in this one pack alone, you get 1 black dragon, a brass, a purple, an emerald, a red, and a blue dragon, and 2 sprues of riders you could possibly add to them. And again, for like $20. So instead of going second hand for 2 of the same dragons for 20, you more or less get 6 different ones and 2 sprues to add to it. Let's go back a page and see what the next set will be. And it has a jade, a white, a copper, an iron, a gold, and a ruby. And again, 2 sprues of riders. And the third set here, we'll have the other ones as well. Let's close up on them. We have a sapphire, a diamond, 2-headed dragon, platinum, a curious dragon. I want to get this one. And undead dragon. And again, 2 sprues of riders you can add to this. Now there's a 4th set here, and that contains things like we have a dragon nest, dragon on treasure, a hydra, and a spectral dragon. These would be in their own separate little blister packs. I think 1 of each as opposed to 2. But the game itself never gave special rules to these. I guess they were going to come up with these over time, but you can be creative and think of your own. So there you have it. You don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get these little dragons here just because they're out of print. Merlinton sells them, and just grab the set of the ones that you want, 20 bucks. And here's another issue. Since this is based in Italy, and you may have to worry about like extra taxes, tariffs, and stuff like that. Noble Knight Games, which is based here in America, has been selling these on their website. Just go to their search engine, Merlinton Mini Dragons, and not too far on that, you get to see the very things I showed you. And they're currently selling them at $23 at the time I'm making this video here. You know, that's a reduced price from $27. So again, you got to judge appropriately depending on which ones you want, how many you want, and all that. So if you're interested in the dragons of that scale, let's just say you want to play in the Dragonlance campaign where you have a whole slew of dragons battling each other, chromatics and metallics, or maybe you're one of those very rare players that play Council of Worms, or maybe you are having meeting an idea for an Air Combat Fantasy simulator board game and you want something to help test it with models like that. Here you go. Go to Merlinton Miniatures for that, and Under Grenadier miniatures that are long out of print if you're interested in those. Search around this website. It's, a lot of fascinating stuff. They even advertise a Demigorgon, which was used in Stranger Things. So if you want to collect that one without charging an arm and leg, go to Merlinton. So with all that said, here's a slideshow of what I collected. No before pictures of them pre-painted. It's just a straight painted. I forgot to take those. And is 2 Iron Dragons and 2 Sapphire Dragons. Alright, so there you go. Dragon Lore miniatures and where to find them. Thank you all for watching, and you have a nice day.